On today's DNVR Broncos podcast, we are breaking down the third practice of training camp, and there was a big three out there today. A couple of people shined, including some receivers, which means it was a good day for Bo Nix. Plus, we're going to hear from Engram, and it all starts now. The Broncos are back. Fans are back at training camp. And our friend Henry Chisholm is back, ready to rock and roll on the DNVR Broncos podcast, live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your local Front Range Toyota stores inside the DNVR barn. Of course, we are the DNVR Broncos podcast. Henry Chisholm's back. You're here behind the camera, and Zach Stevens rocking and rolling with you. And we just got back from the third Broncos training camp practice, ready to rock and roll. Tell you all about it. But before we do, hello, Henry.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Yes, I am back. I don't have much. I feel like we don't have time to waste.
All right, let's just dive right in. And
Wait, real quick.
I thought you didn't have time. What's this about?
If I had two things to say, one is that there was no service up there because there was a music festival, and so I've just been like Twitter free, Instagram free, which is great. Also, we got growled at by a bear climbing down a mountain well, we don't know it was a bear because it was dark. Scared Lexi. So there you go. There's the Montana update.
So I don't know if that was wasting time or if we needed that. I thought we needed that, but then you said you didn't want to waste time, and then you did.
I think it would waste more time if everybody was just wondering about the update. You know? So if you just say like, here are the big two, here's what you need to know, everything else is way less interesting.
I feel like you wasted more
I'm glad,
time now
that's true.
explaining this.
I could have had three more points.
I'm glad the bear just growled at you instead of did more. And we're glad you're back.
That's a very nice thing to say.
You made a very bold choice, though, wearing all black to a training camp practice.
Yeah.
I'm not just talking like the Raiders way, more so a Heat way.
So we got back at like
and long sleeve.
10.
Are you okay, Henry?
Night.
Did the bear do some damage?
We just get used to
long
it.
sleeve and black for training camp.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
The color thing I always get shocked by. I wore all my short sleeve shirts in the past week and need to do the laundry today. There was a real part of me that thought like, I could wear this till stinky, but like nobody smells anybody at training camp.
I would smell you here, so I appreciate that.
There we go.
I appreciate
and so I was
that.
like, let's just wear the fresh one. Oh, nobody cares about Montana. Okay, somebody does.
Somebody definitely does.
Thank you,
what,
Martin.
You know what people care about? They care about the Denver Broncos.
Yes.
And if you want the best Broncos coverage, before we dive in to what happened at camp, I got to tell you about our DNVR Broncos tailgate tier. If you want to become a diehard or upgrade your fandom, that's right. Even if you are already a diehard, you can take advantage of this offer because you're not only going to get all the benefits with coming with the base tier of being a diehard, like that free shirt. And by the way, if you upgrade, you're going to get another free shirt sent to you immediately of your choice. You're going to get 2 Broncos tailgate tickets. Henry, we are less than 2 months away from the first Broncos game. We want you at that tailgate. And if you upgrade to the tailgate tier, you're going to get 2 tickets, one for yourself and one for a guest to the tailgate. That's a $140 value right there. And you're getting it for $89.99, which includes all of our coverage and of training camp, of the season, of next year. You get it for an entire season for just $89.99. So we'd really appreciate if you joined us, whether it's with the training camp tier or with the base tier. Go and scan that QR code or go to thednvr.com/intro. And why I wanted to start with that is because we've got a lot to talk about on this show. And if you want to get it on the writing side, we're going to have all of our coverage over there. So, Henry, let's get started with the biggest takeaway from camp today.
Let's go with yours first.
Oh,
I think yours is more interesting.
Oh, I see. We're going with like Johnny Walker for you.
No, it's not Johnny Walker.
Okay, not Johnny Walker.
I wish it was.
I might be on the right position, kind of. I think I know who you're going with. But I'm going to go with the big 3 from today. 2 Oregon guys and an Illinois guy.
An Illinoisan.
Let's start. with Bo Nix. How is Bo doing? As people in the Toyota chat want us to call it, maybe the what was it? You hear scroll up. The barometer. I like that one. The barometer is on the board. Bo had his best training camp practice so far. It's a very short training camp so far. This is only the third practice. This was the biggest practice so far. We got to see the most, and he had his best practice so far. He was sharp. He was making good decisions outside of one throw, but nothing bad happened. It just ended in an incompletion.
Wonder what went through his head on that one.
Okay, good. Whew.
Yeah.
Next play. Let's move on to the next play.
Yeah.
We'll get into the details on that one, but I thought Bo looked sharp. This was definitely the best the offensive line has looked in terms of protection for Bo, and it wasn't great by any means. The pass rush was still very good. It just wasn't nearly as dominant as it was yesterday or the day before. That gave Bo just enough time to make two really big plays that stuck out to me, including arguably the play of the day, which we'll get to in just a second as well. But Henry, I just thought besides those two or three bigger plays, Bo just made really good decisions, really, really, really fast decisions. I think that's something that we're seeing early on in this camp is, man, he's not wasting any time. He's getting rid of the ball right on script and maybe even a little faster than Sean Payton would think. And I just thought he looked pretty sharp today.
Yeah, he was kind of doing his thing. I guess we should say, so what, 3 team periods today?
Yep.
A 7-on-7 period. So that's like 16 plays for Bo.
Yep.
You'd imagine a third of them at least are runs. So it's not like there's this huge sample size to pull from. But I'd agree. I think
I'll tell you, big sample size compared to yesterday and the day before.
That's the thing. That's the thing. And it'll get bigger. Today's practice, hour and 45 minutes. They'll get up to like 2.5 hours, you would think. But yeah, I think that I agree. It's a lot of the quick stuff. It's him kind of carving up those cover 3 defenses, finding the little gap in the middle, a little curl there, a little curls on the outsides of them. The same things that he's been doing really well since college, I think, is kind of picking apart that cover 3. I think it's kind of interesting that we saw Troy Franklin catch a couple of those. We saw Marvin Mims catch at least one. And those are the guys who, you want to see a little bit more in the middle of the field, particularly on routes like that, find ways to kind of develop their game, become threats in different ways. And, it's not the first time we've seen them make those catches in practices before. It happened last year too. But when you see it, you start to think like, okay, this is what we're going for here. And it looks sharp.
It did look sharp. Sharp, crisp, those are the words. It's not like Bo went out there and blew the defense away and threw for 500 yards or the equivalent of 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. He just looked sharp, taking good positive steps as we see him go. And Henry, you mentioned finding gaps in zones.
Yep.
Maybe the most impressive play from a young guy that I saw today was Pat Bryant connecting with Bo Nix. Connecting with Bo Nix in the middle of the field where I was standing right next to Benny Fowler, and he was just so impressed with the way that Pat Bryant manipulated the zone, sat down about 5 yards in the very middle of the field, and that's another guy that is one of my biggest takeaways today is Pat Bryant. Man, he flashed in OTAs. We told you guys when he flashed in OTAs, and we're like, okay, we'll wait till training camp comes around. Obviously, there's a next step of pads, and then there's preseason, but he has not missed a beat. Pat Bryant looks like the real deal, and not just as like, number 2 receiver for the Broncos in the future, like a potential number 1 receiver for the Broncos in the future, and a legitimate option week 1 of this year. He looks like a vet. Physically, he looks like a vet. Benny goes, wow, Pat's way more built than I was expecting. And I'm like, yeah, he does not look like a rookie. It's maybe those 4 years in college that allowed his body to really develop. But then he also looks like a vet on the field. He knows where he's going. And the most impressive thing, that's why I pointed to this one play. It was only a little 5-yard hitch, but he read the zone, just fell right in the flat in the middle of the zone, turned around, Bo hit him right away. They were on the exact same page, reminded me of a little Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, just being on the same page, finding a soft spot in the zone. And that just speaks worlds to his football intelligence.
Totally. I mean, it was, I think the one that I think points to the intelligence more, there was this scramble. I can't remember who the quarterback was at that point, but whoever was rolled out to the left, and Bryant broke off his route, cut back outside, and hooked up on the side. hooked up with the ball on the sideline.
Oh, I thought we were laughing when I almost said hooked up with him.
Yeah. But that one to me was like, wait, the Broncos receivers don't really do that. Courtland Sutton aside, scramble drills, not necessarily a place where the Broncos receivers have shined in the past. Pat Bryant did it there. And I agree. Like the throw of the day was that bootleg where Bo rolls out and hits that like backside dig, which is a throw that, first of all, you're told never to make. You know, the on the run, back across your body, back across the middle of the field to the receiver. But again, like it wasn't a bad decision. Guy's wide open, and he's Bo Nix, and that's kind of what he does. He makes those sorts of throws. And after a day where it's just kind of clinical, like, oh, hit him there, just stay on schedule. To have like the one big wow throw, that's what you need. And that's what that was, is a throw that only the playmaking quarterbacks, the really good playmaking quarterbacks in the NFL make. Like you brought up Patrick Mahomes. That's the kind of thing he does. It's the kind of thing that like a Josh Allen does. And Bo, those are the types of throws you want to see him make. Saw him make a couple last year, but I think that throw might be one that we didn't see last year.
And this throw was one of the 2 or 3 plays of the day. And because it came from Bo, it's probably the play of the day. So let's just dig a little deeper into that play. So I don't even know if it was supposed to be play action to the right side.
I think so.
But Alex Singleton was blitzing, and he got there instantly. So Bo takes off. Either if it was play action, Bo just starts running instead of like the slow jog that you do on a play action, or if it was supposed to be in the pocket, he just starts sprinting to the right sideline. As he's nearing the sideline, he either has to throw the ball away or find someone open, and the field is just collapsing, and the defense is collapsing on any open receivers. And Bo, I don't even know if he looked at Pat Bryant. This honestly could have been like a no-look pass. Found just a 7-yard gap in the defense of a perfect vision that led to Pat Bryant, who was in the middle of the field. Bo's nearly at the right sideline, and Bo slings it across his body with so much zip. This ball was not floppy at all. It went right to Pat Bryant. Pat Bryant was there. It hit him right in stride. It was for 15 yards, and Pat only had to have beat one defender for like a 75-yard touchdown, if he was able to get by one defender. But I love seeing that from Pat. I absolutely love seeing it from Bo. It just shows the playmaking ability of both of those guys. And again, I really, really wish that we could look at a replay of that play, because there's a chance that it was a almost no-look pass too.
Yeah. I guess we can't really talk about scheme, which is a real shame. Big bootleg day, though. I would say it was third down day. I would say it's also kind of that play action type day, which was kind of fun. And on those naked bootlegs, there was one where Jonathan Cooper was right in his face when they were coming away from the fans. And it was only like maybe a 6-7 yard gain to Courtland Sutton, who had that little gap of space. But it's another one where it's like defender in his face, able to sidearm a bit, whip it right around him. Again, like when it comes to these practices, you go in there knowing what you're trying to install. Like, it's not like you watch one practice and see, oh, here's what they're doing today. That's what they're doing this season. But Bo on those bootlegs today looked pretty nice.
Bootleg Bo. And let me tell you who else looked pretty nice. Another receiver that I think is going to get Broncos country fired up. And let me tell you about that receiver and another play of the day, arguably the play of the day, and then get Henry's biggest takeaway after I give a shout out to our friends over at First Bank, where if you're looking for banking that plays at your pace, which is so key, whether you're tailgating, grabbing halftime snacks, or catching the game from your couch, First Bank is in your corner at your pace. With their secure, easy-to-use mobile banking app, you can check your balance, split the tab for stadium nachos, and stay on top of your money anytime, anywhere. It's like having a financial MVP in your pocket. And here's the play that pays. You could earn $300 when you open a new First Bank checking account. Use it to get some tickets to the Nuggets, Avs, or Rockies, or whatever keeps your game day going strong. And we know Sundays are going to be busy for all of you coming up. You could use it for tickets to that. First Bank makes managing your money feel like a win. No games, just solid tools to help you stay in control right from your phone. Ready to take your banking game to the next level? Head to efirstbank.com/bonus. That's efirstbank.com/bonus. bonus. Certain restrictions and requirements apply. Member FDIC.
And shout out to our friends over at Toyota. We're here in the Toyota Lounge. You guys are in the Toyota chat. Big Toyota place. A lot of cars on the road. There was a wreck on the way down to practice today, which was a little bit annoying.
Yeah, and something coming home too.
Oh, was there? Oh,
yeah.
I didn't see that. They all looked very safe to me. They all looked very safe.
Yeah, everyone looks safe.
They would be especially safe if they're in Toyota.
Very safe.
But while you sometimes have to drive slow on the highway, sometimes that means that you get more time to look at the beautiful Toyotas that are out there. Everybody's driving one. They've got the Tacoma, the Land Cruiser, 17 different models with available all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, like the Epic 4Runner. More low and zero-emission vehicles combined than any other automaker. You could reduce your carbon footprint. You might be able to save a couple bucks. And you can visit your Front Range Toyota stores location near you. AutoNation Toyota Rapo in Centennial, Corn Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota, official automotive partner of the NFL and the official vehicle of DNVR. Let's go places.
Did you hear just say something that I think no one has ever said? Did he just try to call us out for saying that people get annoyed at accidents?
I was a little bit annoyed.
I think everyone's annoyed at accidents, right? Like,
yes.
Here, you're saying you're better than us and you're not annoyed when there's an accident on the road?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Get out of here.
He's just crying in his car thinking about what might happen.
Yeah. So you pull over for everyone then and you make sure that everyone's okay?
No, I just glance, give them a nod. I'm not a professional. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, if they nod, they're okay. Well, Henry and I saw everyone nod, so we're all good with that. You hear, do your other job now. Get Henry his sunglasses because the future is bright when you're looking at number 11, Troy Franklin.
Yes. No, it was a big day for him. The big throw was the
Shady Rays future is bright.
Shady Rays. We should say that. That's the sunglasses. 75-yard touchdown. Pretty good. I will say it was probably a sack. Dondre Tillman was there. It was one of those where at the very least it wasn't going to be like he just gets to Jarrett gets to set his feet and throw it. Like he pulled up at the very least. It would have been a little bit different, but hey, we're just looking down the field.
That part doesn't impact the Troy part.
Yeah. Not during a future is bright segment. It sure doesn't. But you
know what? How about this? The future is bright for Dondre Tillman and Troy Franklin.
And not whoever that tight end who was Poland supposed to hit him was. But I didn't get the number. Future is very bright for all of them. Troy not only did that, like I said, had like the little catch in the middle of the field, contested, guy on his back. You wonder a little bit what it looks like if you wind up with guys allowed to hit him. But seeing catches in the middle of the field from Troy, we saw him beat Jade Barron 15 to 20 yards downfield on like an out route or corner route, something like that. It was a big day for him. Obviously, the big one's the 75-yard bomb from Jarrett Stidham. I think today I thought back to the quarterback competition last year. I was like, oh yeah, Jarrett Stidham was good in that training camp. Like there was a case to be made that he was the better quarterback in that training camp. And there are probably quarterback competitions in Denver in the past 10 years that Jarrett Stidham would have won. I think he had a good day out there, and that throw was a big piece of it. Future is bright for all sorts of people.
Yeah, future is bright for a lot of people. And if you want your future to be bright, go to ShadyRays.com and use the code DNVR for not 5%, not 10%, not 20%.
15%?
35% off your Shady Rays. Go to ShadyRays.com. Use that code 35 or DNVR for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Let's go back to that play because it was a heck of a throw from Jarrett Stidham. But Jarrett Stidham hopefully does not play this season.
Yes.
Hopefully Troy Franklin does.
Hopefully they're just blowing teams out.
Hopefully in week 18.
Yeah.
Jarrett Stidham's playing and throwing 75-yard bombs.
I wonder if that changes for Bo in year 2. Because it felt like last year, like even if the Broncos are up big, you get Bo the reps. Like I'm thinking back the NFC South games in particular, you didn't really see him like pull Bo out and put Jarrett in just to like protect him. I wonder if in year 2 you start to see that.
Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
I think so too.
If the Broncos are beating the heck out of teams, you pull Bo. Because you're right, it is about getting Bo's confidence. It's about getting him more reps. This year, no. Like, we saw what Patrick Mahomes did his second season. He threw 50 touchdowns, won MVP. In your second season in the NFL, especially after having a first rookie season of tons of reps, they would pull him out.
I agree.
And then we'll see Jarrett Stidham 75-yard touchdown bombs to Troy Franklin. Troy just just blew by the defense. It was a post route. He had a couple steps on the defense. He caught the ball, would have just glided in the end zone for a touchdown. It is so good to see his development on the deep stuff. But then maybe in the meeting rooms, the play that was even more impressive, he had a little dig route, 15 or 20 yards with Bo, so he was running with the starters, caught that one in the middle of the field. Like you said, it's going to be interesting to see what Troy looks like with pads on. But Troy has bulked up a little bit. He's gained some weight, just like Bailey has. Those guys look bigger. They look like they can be more than just a one-trick pony, especially for Troy, just a deep threat. Looks like he could be more of an all-around receiver with his speed still being what carries him.
Totally. I mean, that's going to be what separates all these guys. You know, all of them have the thing that they do. While you were gone, we looked at we did a guessing game with the route trees for the Broncos receivers, guessing which one's which. And it was pretty obvious which is which because each one of them, other than Court, kind of has the two things that they do and not much else beyond that. Whichever one of these receivers winds up adding more things to what they do, those are the guys who are going to get on the field. We'll talk about Evan Engram a little bit later on in the show too. He talked a little bit about some similar ideas. But yeah, I think it's the in-breaking routes. I think maybe even the out-breaking routes for him and Marvin. And you just hope to see that come around because all of a sudden that's when the passing game becomes dangerous, is when you can threaten different parts of the field instead of just get to me short and I'll run, or you can get to me deep. Also with Troy, catching the football.
Yep.
Because last year he would have been on the field a lot if he just caught the football.
And he did that today. He's done that in all training camp. He did that in the offseason as well. So good to see. Really quick, just since we're talking about the wide receivers and there's so much competition outside of Courtland Sutton or after Courtland Sutton, I do just want to say that Marvin Mims and Lavelle Bailey are having good camps. They both had good days today.
Yep.
Neither of them just did anything so spectacular. You're looking at me with a little side eye.
Devon did have that big drop.
He did.
Was that on air or 7-on-7?
That was air.
And so it's just that big dig.
So that's why I don't.
It's just
it's
definitely.
Not the
but
best,
in some ways, it's more. I'm not concerned because it hasn't been an issue in the past. But that was the one I was saying with Zach By, who loves him and was very disappointed.
Yeah, that's fair. I still think that both of them are doing what they need to do. So I mean, we're going from a very questionable wide receiver room. I think, in fact, even ESPN had that rated as the worst or second worst wide receiver room in the NFL. To the Broncos might be extremely, extremely deep. Okay, Henry, let's get through some other takeaways. And if we haven't hit your biggest takeaway yet, hit us with it.
The cornerback competition is going to be pretty crazy. To me, after going out there and watching it, that is, to me, the storyline of camp. And I didn't have cornerback competition as the top competition coming in. But when you go out there and watch those guys, and as Sean said, some guys are working inside and outside, some guys exclusively outside, some guys going to safety, figuring out which of these DBs is going to get the start week one, pretty crazy. And you'd imagine Pat is certainly going to be one of them. You would imagine your first round pick, Shady Rays, is going to be out there in one of the spots where it's the nickel or on the boundary. But Riley and Jaquan, neither one of them is just going to roll over and give their job up. And so between Jade, Riley, and Jaquan, only two are going to start at the beginning of the year. And they can try to find some packages to get a handful of snaps for whoever the extra guy is. And at some point, there's going to be an injury. And at some point, somebody's going to have a tough game and there's going to be rotation. But to me, that's that just watching them play really stands out. And I think I have no complaints about anything that Jaquan did today. I didn't really notice him, but that meant nobody's really throwing his way. There was the one ball to Riley up the sideline, the fade to Courtland Sutton. Probably a little bit of an overthrow there, just a little bit over the head. You saw it was Courtland. He probably could jump and get that if it was a little bit more on target. But then Jade Barron, like we said, gives up the 15, 20-yard out route to Troy Franklin. You're like, the margins are so slim. And similar to last year with the quarterbacks, if Jade is close, he's going to get one of those jobs. You would think they want him out there. And similar to Bo, I think early in camp we're saying hey, the vets look a little bit better. But Jade's really going to have to win the job from those guys. Just watching rotations and watching what they do, that to me is way more interesting than maybe I even realized.
Yeah, very fair. And I mean, that was where my eyes were the first 2 days of camp, first 3 days of camp, including today as well. We know that Jade got the start on Wednesday. Then Riley gets the start yesterday, so it's like, okay, this is clearly a competition. And then I think Sean Payton kind of told us after practice what's going to happen. So Henry, I think we know the answer. Let me throw it your way, what Sean said after practice, after I give a shout out to our friends over at Monarch Money, where if you need help tracking your finances, let's say at the end of every month, you get to the end of the month and you're like, where did all my money go? I thought I was going to have plenty at the end of this month and it's all gone. Monarch Money is your personal financial advisor to help you understand where your money is going. And the really cool thing about Monarch Money is it combines your money from wherever it is, checking accounts, savings accounts, investments, wherever your money is, it's going to be able to take that all into account to help you track your spending, savings, investments effortlessly. And it is the financial tool that people actually love. It was named the Wall Street Journal's best budgeting app of 2025, top recommended personal finance app by users and experts with over 35-star reviews. And financial stress is one of the top reasons relationships fall apart. Monarch Money makes that conversation easier. So get control of your overall finances with Monarch Money. Use code DNVR and Monarch Money in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year over at monarchmoney.com by using that code DNVR.
And shout out to our friends over at Cake Mortgage. Up in Montana, there are a lot of people who have rentals. And if you're looking for one of those, Cake Mortgage has a pretty cool way that you can go about doing that. If you want to buy an investment property, they can make it straightforward. You just find a place that has cash flows, you make your down payment, and then you can start collecting those checks. Well, not other places, but that's true at Cake Mortgage. Traditional banks and lenders seriously don't get you, but they do. Cakehome.com, they specialize in business purpose DSCR loans. That means debt service coverage ratio, which is a fancy way of saying if the rent covers it or nearly covers the mortgage, we can probably get you funded. So if you can take one of their appraisers, that's the word, go out there and say, we would make this much money per month renting this place out, they will give you the loan to go and do it. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy. It's a great way to get into that. So if you've always dreamed about owning income property or you're building a real estate legacy, call 1-800-EAT-CAKE or head to the link in the description because life is better with Cake. Cake Mortgage Corp, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 1734623, licensed in Colorado by the Division of Real Estate. Terms and conditions apply.
And so I think it's a piece of cake, shout out to Cake Mortgage, to know who the three cornerbacks are going to be starting Week 1 against the Titans. It's going to be Pat Surtain on the outside. And then I'm very, very, very confident saying it's Jahdae Barron and Riley Moss.
Really?
Very,
interesting.
Very
Why?
confident. Now, I think after practice, Sean Payton, I asked him about Jahdae Barron, and I asked him, how do you balance putting so much on his plate, playing inside, playing outside with not overwhelming the rookie? And Sean went out of his way. He answered that and said, well, we're not going to put too much on him if we don't think he can handle it. So one, they think he can handle all of that. But then he said right after that, he said, right now we're giving him the opportunity inside at first. And then we also know he has a versatility outside. So he's your inside starter if he doesn't win the outside job. And I know the Broncos are extremely confident in Riley Moss playing on the inside too. So unfortunately, I do think we're going to see Jaquan get some reps with the first team during training camp. But I think this thing is, okay, Jahdae has the inside job. Riley has the outside job. If Jahdae can prove to us that he's good enough to be the outside cornerback, okay, then Riley's just our nickel inside slot cornerback, whatever you want to call it. I think those three, it's set in stone.
So you don't think Jahdae has to earn it? You think they just hand it to him?
I think he's already earned it from what he's done. The type of player he is.
The thing is, you just haven't seen enough. Again, you have the college tape, you have OTAs. You have to go out there and actually line up against these guys in competitive environment in training camp.
Oh yeah, and they're already giving it to him. They've already gave that to him.
He didn't start today though.
He started.
Yeah, it's a rotation though. It's a rotation. And I think when you go look, I think that they're just going to go with the best player. I think that again, if it's a tie, it goes to Barron. I think that they're just trying to find the best combination. I think, of course, you start him inside to me because that's where he was best in college. You know, that's where when you look at the production, that's what you draft him to do, is because you think he is going to be a monster there. And then there's the outside versatility that gives him the higher upside. So I think you start him inside because that's where he is at his best. You're doing him a service by doing that. But it comes down to the competition to me. I think when you look through the results of today, you can't leave that practice saying anything other than, you know, it's Pat, of course, on top. Nothing to complain about with Riley and Jaquan. And Jade gave up a decent gain. And it doesn't mean it's the end of the world for him. It's still early. But I do think that if this same thing that we saw today happens over and over again throughout camp, I don't think Jade Barron's a starter. Now, I do think he's going to improve and start looking better. But I think this competition's wide open. And I think you even look back to last year. I think, you know, top 40 picks were spent on Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean with the Eagles, with Wiggins with the Ravens. And none of those guys started at the beginning of the year. I think that when you have a secondary that's this good, the luxury is you don't have to play him if he's early. But I think it's easy to sub him in.
Let's look at what happened last year with this team.
Yeah.
The first round pick, Bo Nix, did enter training camp as in a competition. There was no chance. I mean, there was no chance he was not going to be the starter. That's the same thing with Jade. You don't use this draft pick, especially with how high they are on him, because the benefit of this is you're not putting him out on an island. You're not saying like, okay, you are starting outside cornerback. Good luck being opposite of Pat Surtain. What you can do is you can protect him a little bit and put him inside with Riley on the outside. I would be, I think it's 99%. I think this is locked up. I think the only thing that's not locked up is if he's outside or inside, and I do think he's going to be inside. I think Riley's going to start the season outside, and I think Jade is going to have the opportunity to play outside as well. I do think we'll still see Jaquan, because I think the Broncos are going to go with 4 cornerbacks on the field a decent amount, especially play to that strength. Jaquan's without a doubt the best 4th cornerback in the NFL, but yeah, I do think it's those 3 as the starters.
Okay.
So we'll continue to follow that, and especially we'll still see some rotation at all of these places with competition for 10 days or so, and then we might see some things starting to fall in place, specifically right around that first joint practice against the 49ers, which is less than 2 weeks away. So I love that we're looking at that cornerback spot. There was
so if that's not the big competition, then what is?
Running back.
You think so?
Running back is a big competition. And so far, we've talked about it in the first 2 days. It continues. The trend continues. It looks like JK is the guy with RJ Harvey behind him. Sean Payton today said, whoa. Essentially, he said, whoa, pump the brakes. We don't even have pads on. Not only do I want to see these 2 guys, but I want to see the guys behind them. I don't know why Sean keeps saying this. I mean, he said it since the end of last season. At the end of season press conference, throughout all the offseason, he said he wants to see the other guys on the roster as well. Then show me that you want to see these other guys, Sean. Put them as the starters. Put them with the first team. Until I see it, I'm certainly not going to believe it. But what my eyes are telling me, I think it's JK, then RJ, but it is way too early to like say that one's over.
Okay, so that's the one I would say is over.
Pads haven't come on.
Yeah.
And that's so important for the running back position.
But even with the pads on in training camp, there's still so much that like I just don't trust. And that's why I think beginning of the year
with the run game,
it is those 2.
Oh, and I definitely think it's those 2 for sure.
Okay.
And right now I would say it's JK. Like I'm just gonna go with what my eyes are telling me.
Yeah.
And say it's those 2 as 96% of the snaps that are taken on the Broncos offensive side at running back.
I think again though, just the time of year where, you know, the front office spends the offseason building the team and going through the hypotheticals, and this is what we expect from him, and this is what we expect from him. And if that doesn't happen, then we'll do this. And if that doesn't happen, we've hit the point of the year where, you know, it's training camp. It's no more like, here's what we think about it. It's just, as Sean says, we go by what we see. You bring in all these guys, you build the best roster you can, and whoever you look at and say like, oh, this guy looks like he needs to be on the field, that's the guy who's on the field. Like Drew Sanders, you know, who we thought the roster spot kind of in doubt. You watch him out there today again. I heard good things. I didn't see him the past 2 days, obviously, but you see him like disrupting passing routes. You see him with a little pop on, I think it was a screen pass and a run where he got in there. It's like, oh, this looks different. And so what I had is Drew Sanders in my mind. It's too quick to say like, oh, that's not what he is. But this is, for the next 3-4 weeks, this is learning time and seeing what all these guys actually are as of July and August of 2025. And then you get like a week or two to like actually make your plans and figure out where you're going from there. So yeah, maybe Tyler Bidet shows up and he's had a good offseason, and instead of a top speed of 19.5 miles per hour, he's up to 21 miles an hour, and that's the difference. And you see him out there and you're just like, oh, this guy should be in there. Yeah, that's what makes training camp so fun.
Yep, it certainly does. Before I give a shout out to one final player, before we get to some other things that happened today, want to ask for likes on this show. We got hundreds and hundreds of people watching, yet only 72 likes, over 500 watching. That's just over a 10% like rate. If we can get that up, we'd really appreciate it. Hit us with a thumbs up. It helps us a lot, and it's free for you guys. Takes no time at all, and it shows that you appreciate that we're going after Broncos practice. We really appreciate it, so hit us with that thumbs up, and we thank you for that. Henry, I got to give a shout out to Lavelle Bailey, the linebacker who continues to make plays. He made plays in training camp all of last year. That's why he made the roster, and the Broncos kept him all season long. Today, he made maybe the two biggest plays on the defensive side of the ball, including all of the starters. Now, this was not against the starters when he did this, but it was still two impressive plays. So the first one is a little pass in the flat to Lucas Kroll. This was from Sam Ehlinger, and Lavelle, he doesn't pick it off, but like Lucas Kroll's trying to bring it in.
Just bobble.
And then Lavelle just swoops
just snaps it.
Yep, just swoops. So I guess it would have been a pick.
Oh, absolutely.
But like, I feel bad for Sam. Like, that should not be a pick. It should be a pick for Lucas Kroll.
That's why stats in football just don't work.
Have the pick go on Lucas Kroll's stat sheet there, and he would have taken it to the house. The defense went absolutely crazy. That's the craziest the defense went today. And then later in practice, I think this was Jarrett Stidham at quarterback. I'm actually not positive on that one, but
Ehlinger actually.
Oh, it was Ehlinger again. Looks to Lucas Kroll's way. Lucas Kroll, it's like, 7 yards down the field on kind of the right numbers. Lucas Kroll turns around, has the ball in his hands. Lavelle Bailey comes out of nowhere, slaps that thing out. Great PBU. So tough day for Lucas Kroll. Great day for Lavelle Bailey. Speaking of that inside linebacker position, like Drew Sanders, you got Justin Strnad. That's going to be a great competition. And it might force the Broncos to keep 5 inside linebackers or make a tough decision between Lavelle Bailey and Drew Sanders.
Yeah. Again, you go into it and say, like, I don't know, Drew Sanders, Lavelle Bailey could come in and steal his job. But Justin Strnad feels safe because he was so steady last year. He's a veteran, good at special teams. And you have a day like today where it's like, okay, you start to Drew Sanders, maybe not like a loud, effective day, but there are a couple little things, again, like a little crossing route where he just bumps the guy, disrupts the timing. The throw is no longer there. It's like, oh, that's a vet move. That's not something he does in the past. You have Lavelle Bailey go in there and make a couple of the really loud plays. A guy who made the team last year as an undrafted free agent out of Fresno State.
A shocker, by the way.
Well, not to listeners of this podcast. We were telling them the whole way. I think that it does leave you in that weird spot where then you say, like, what if Justin Strnad, like, does he become expendable? Again, it's overreacting to one practice. If this were to happen over the course of the next month or so, then maybe you have the conversation. Or maybe it's, do you keep 5? Maybe it's, could you move on from Alex Singleton? Are you so impressed by one of those? It's like, probably not. And I think the way they used Alex Singleton today, you're like, that's not a guy who has any shot of losing his job.
Yeah, he looks
Stuck
like
up there.
The number one inside linebacker. The way they used him, because again, we can't get too deep, so I like the way you said that, Henry. And really quick, Justin Strnad was really, really solid. The past 2 days, to be fair, I didn't notice him today, but he blew up a screen yesterday. So I mean,
not a bad player by any means.
And I don't think he's got $2.5 million guaranteed, fully guaranteed. I think he's the trusted first backup. I think.
But then eventually, if you get to a point where you say, "Wait, Drew Sanders looks like the guy we drafted," Lavelle Bailey, once again in another training camp, is looking like an absolute stud. You have to find space to keep them all somewhere on the roster. And I mean, again, it's hopefully cut down day is really, really hard for the Broncos because that means things are going really well.
I think
because in the past there have been a lot of guys who, you say goodbye and you're like, oh, guess they're only keeping 5 receivers. You're like, well, yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
There's been like 7 straight years, not this past year, but like from 2017 to 2023 or something like that, where the Broncos have cut guys on roster cut down day and no one's been picked up.
Yeah, the last one before last year, Adam Prentice. The fullback, Sean Payton with the Saints.
And that is not what you want.
Yeah.
No, you want your guys that you cut. You want to have so much talent that you're cutting guys that get picked up other places.
Like last year, they get rid of DeMontre Jacobs after a great camp, who goes on to start 13 games at right tackle for the Patriots.
Yeah.
And it's not, I mean, it's the Patriots offensive line. It's not like it went great for him.
Right.
But it's just a different world than it used to be.
Yeah, it's so true. Actually, I lied. I want to give a shout out to one more guy. Jeremy Crawshaw.
Oh, yeah.
He was out there bombing kicks.
He was.
I mean, this is impressive. And it came in the most impressive way, in my opinion, today. So the Broncos did a punt drill where they were backed up at their half-yard line, their 1-yard line. And so instead of getting the 16, 17 yards that punters get from where the ball is snapped to where they catch it and then they get room, he got 10 yards because his feet were at the back of the end zone. He's got no room to go. And yes, this is during a team period, a live team period, so he has rushers. He is booting these balls so far. The very first one that he hit, it went, I don't know, 6 seconds of hang time. Like the hang time was ridiculous. And it went to the opposing 30. He hit this ball 70 yards. That's Will Lutz, but close. He hit this ball 70 yards in the air. And then he just continued to do it. Then they moved to the 20-yard line and he hit the ball to the opposing 10. And then they moved it to the 35 and he downed it at the 5. He was on point today. We talked about it a couple of days ago. I think it was maybe Wednesday's first practice where he was bombing them, but every third one would go out of bounds 24 yards downfield. And it's even Sean Payton was totally. We got to make sure we don't hook those ones anymore. We like where his leg's at, but just got to get more consistency. Well, today was much more consistent in a way of not just punting on air. It was a thing of beauty. This is why the Broncos not only signed him or used a draft pick on him, but then they said we only need him going into training camp because the talent's just insane.
Yeah, and I mean, again, I came out of the OTAs just a little bit concerned because of the duds. I think at one point, I was trying to find it in my notebook, and I couldn't find it quickly enough. But I think there were back-to-back punts that were sub 40 yards.
Yep.
Which you're just whoa, that can't happen in the NFL.
Yeah.
But yeah, you see what the vision is. It's just that so much more goes into punting than kicking the ball really far, which is why Ryan Stonehouse had such a tough time finding a job after having, I think, the best average punt by a punter in the NFL last year. It's just that he also gave up the longest returns because he wasn't hitting his spots. He was kicking it away from where the coverage was going. He was out kicking his coverage, which, sometimes the 47-yard punt winds up being, it's just 47 yards downfield, whereas the 60-yard punt winds up with a 20-yard return because the angles all change. And there's some of that you just don't know about until you get to a game. I also think that Riley Dixon did not have this upside, and he also had the duds. There were too many punts last year, which is probably why he's gone. Definitely why he's gone. That were those, 35 yards. How does that happen? This is the NFL. That just can't be a thing. And so if you're winding up with the same percentage of duffs and you're adding to the distance on the good ones, you're not coming up behind where you were. I think that for the Broncos, things have changed. In theory, you're punting from the middle of the field and it's all about the placement. In theory, you're no longer having to flip the field and trying to kick it 70 yards and spin them back. Hopefully, you're just trying to kick it 38 yards to pin them right where you want them. And that's the other piece that we just haven't really seen. And that's something that Riley Dixon was really good at in terms of touchback percentage, number of punts inside the 20 versus into the end zone. He was incredible. He just didn't have the booming leg. To me, that's what the Broncos need. To me, this offense should be the point where that's what you're looking at. Again, you want somebody who can do both. Yeah, it's more fun. The long ones are what gets everybody fired up.
But that everything you're saying, I understand what you're saying.
There's no reason you can't do both.
And that's not just what they're doing simply with their punter. They went with the guy, and the only guy on the roster is the one with the booming leg. And that's why I can't I still have to say the best punt today was the one backed up where he's kicking it from the back of his own end zone with pressure, and he kicks it 70 yards, and the punt coverage would have been there. It would have been a 70-yard net punt. It would have been incredible. But maybe the most encouraging punt, to your point, Henry, is when they moved him to the 30 or the 35, still his own 30 or 35, and he downed it at the 5. Like he kicked it, and it had backspin, and the ball fell right at the 5. That was a great punt. I still like the other one, but I totally get what you're saying. But it does go against what they're doing with Crawshaw.
Yeah,
well, and I think going with him.
When you're going after a rookie punter, you're expecting you're expecting to have to coach them up. Like there are very few that come out and you're like, oh, this guy has this down. If you got to coach a guy up, take the guy with the best tools. You know, and just see what happens. It's just I pulled up the stat before. I can't find it, but it was something like 23 punters were within 4 yards. I think between 46 and 49 point something in average punt last year, which means that the gap just isn't that big. So if you're the guy who's kicking 49, 49, 49, 135 can be the difference between like that big average and just dropping down to the middle. And so again, it's exciting to see. He certainly has a big leg. Punter's another one where it's just I gotta see it in a game before I start saying like, well, I'm in on this.
I'm in on it. I'm in on it. The
fair.
Big booming leg had me today. Never thought another male's leg would make me so excited.
Oh boy.
But I want to talk about good news. For sure, good news. I think good news. I'm happy about this news. We got good news on the injury front, and let me tell you about it after I give a shout out to what we've got going on the DNVR Broncos tailgate tier. If you want to become a diehard, make sure to get in right now with this new tailgate tier. This is a new thing we've got going on, and you can upgrade from base level to tailgate tier, or you can still get in on the base level if you want. Both of them include a free shirt, and if you upgrade to the tailgate tier, let's say you're already at the base tier, you upgrade, you're going to get a free shirt. Plus, you can get 2 Broncos tailgate tickets, which is a $140 value right there. And trust me, you guys are going to be coming to some tailgates for the Broncos, whether it's early in the season or on the Broncos playoff run in Denver. You're going to want those free tickets right there. $89.99 gets you all of that plus our coverage, not just Broncos, but Nuggets, Avs, Rockies, Buffs, Rams, everything that we do here for an entire year. So make sure to check out what we've got going on by going to thednvr.com/intro to get in. A lot of people saying pause. I don't know what you're even talking about. I stand by everything I've said. Jeremy Crawshaw, he's got me going, man. I'm a big fan of punters now. So I got to give another shout out to another big guy, Mike McGlinchey. After practice, Sean Payton was asked what's going on with him. Of course, he did not tell us what's going on with him, but he said Mike will likely be back tomorrow or Monday, which is the Broncos' next practice after tomorrow. So it seems like good news. News. I'm just going to be cautiously optimistic. Not going to count on him fully being back out there until I see it, but it's good that it's not a week-long injury or, he's week to week or month to month.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, that's probably the biggest part of tailgate not tailgate. I was thinking about training camp.
You got your mind on tailgating. Healthy. I love it, Henry.
Totally. And it's like, I mean, if you just come out of this camp healthy, it's a good camp. And I think it's kind of as simple as that. Like if Bo throws picks in camp, we're just going to be saying like, oh yeah, you try stuff in training camp. Bo has a great camp, then maybe that'd be exciting. But still, it just comes down to, are you healthy? Are you not healthy? There are a couple places where honestly they could handle an injury. Like they would probably be just fine. There are other spots where you wouldn't be just fine. And no matter what, you just want everybody healthy. If McGlinchey is back by, honestly, the end of August, I'm happy. That's good enough for me. The fact that he's back this weekend, let's go.
Yeah. Let's go. I like that there. Okay, so any final thoughts before we hear from Evan Engram, Henry?
Jerwan Newton deserves a shout out. He had an incredible day.
He certainly does. The third play of the day.
Yep. Undrafted rookie receiver out of Toledo, a little bit undersized, but obviously very productive because that's the only way an undersized receiver from Toledo winds up here. Down the sideline, double coverage, ball thrown up in the air as an Ellinger ball lobbed. Shouldn't have been lobbed in the first place. 2 guys just swarming over it, and he's able to track it through all their arms, bring it down the sideline. ridiculously tough play. And then there was the other one on the other sideline with the defender on his back where he's able to kind of get the ball right here. I think also from Ehlinger, just a bullet, wrap it up. And there were a few other catches. I think he might have had 5 catches today.
Yeah, he was all over the field.
Yep.
He is a classic practice squad receiver right now. The catch he had, Ehlinger, that was the most moonball I've seen in years, even with Russell Wilson being in town. This thing just went straight down, somehow got it in between 2, if not 3 defensive backs right there. And I have no idea how he saw this because he had no business coming down with it. And
I'm pretty sure it was the play before. It was the hole shot against cover 2. There's that little gap on the sideline. He throws it to Joaquin Davis. Instead of throwing the bullet, because, there's defenders on either side, he lobs that one there too. And you're just like, well, it's a catch here. If you let that safety fly in and just crack the guy in the back, I don't know that he catches that. So weird day from Ehlinger. He's no Zach Wilson. He's no Zach Wilson. We'll see if he's a Benedict.
He is wearing number 4, just like
exactly
Zach Wilson.
Delarian Turner-Yell had a nice little pass breakup too, flying in from deep.
He did. Good to see DTY back after missing all of last season. So really good to see him out there.
Pressure up the middle, DJ Jones, Savion Jones, some good stuff.
Still a lot of pressure. I mean, Nick Bonito would have had a sack on one of the, I think it was the play that Bo had to Troy that went for about 15-yard crosser in the middle of the field. I think Bonito would have had a sack on that one. Jonathan Cooper in the backfield, as he always is. And Evan Engram. Let's get to this, Henry.
One more?
Yeah, absolutely.
Bo got Talanoa to jump off sides on a blitz.
He certainly did.
That was a fun one.
Yep, and then a little free play that he had there. Man, Talanoa on a blitz. Keep your eyes on it. We're going to see it early and often here. Okay, let's hear from Evan Engram. It's just a third time that we on this show have heard from him. We heard from him once with Benny. We heard from him once in the offseason. This is the third time that we've heard from him. And, man, he is already a Broncos fan favorite. When he posted that Joker thing on Twitter, fan favorite right then. When the Broncos signed him, fan favorite. He's just going to continue to become beloved by Broncos country. And that's why I want to play 4 minutes straight of his press conference where he talks about Broncos country. He talks about Bo Nix, and he talks about how he's addicted to getting better. Then we have one more clip after that. But let's start with this one, just because I think you guys will love it.
Best, honestly, the best. The fans have been great, especially in social media and just the outreach, and even my family is getting a lot of support. I'm just very blessed to be here in a great organization and be a part of a great fan base, and looking forward to giving them a great product on the field as a whole team.
Can you share maybe just a little of what they've said to you?
I mean, they love the Joker thing for sure. They're just excited for this season. They're excited for our team. We both share the same excitement, and it's just really cool to feel that, and that they express that to us, and it gives us a lot of motivation and drive to come out here and be our best.
Evan, what do you continue to learn about Bo Nix and the way he goes about his business?
Attention to detail. Just, his focus, his drive to get 1% better every day. Just his camaraderie with his teammates. He's not afraid to speak up. He's not afraid to challenge you, and he challenges himself at the highest level. So that gives him ground to challenge others. So I'm very impressed with him. Very, very blessed to be a part of his team and be his teammate. And he's the sky's the limit with that type of mentality. The way he works, the talent will take care of itself.
Sean was just talking about highlighting your strengths in this offense so far through the offseason and early part of training camp. What does that look like in terms of working with him to figure out kind of the best way to use you and
Yeah.
who would you like to be used?
You talking about with Sean?
Yeah.
It's been awesome, really. I feel really at home in this offense. I feel like my strengths are being used at the highest level, and it also challenges me to be sharp with my tools and be sharp with my details and the little things that I need to clean up and get better at. It challenges me every single day, and just the different ways that they're planning to use me, and I'm also just the mentality that they have and I want to have in the run game as well, to make that entire thing universal. I think I'm just really excited to be in his scheme, and excited to work with him throughout the season to help this team the best way I can.
Evan, you mentioned the So, Evan, you mentioned about the run game. Why is that important to you?
One is just a mentality I love to have going into the season. And, you know, a lot of people kind of look down and kind of doubt my run blocking skills. And you know, they kind of take it for granted when I'm on the field, and they might think it's more pass-heavy stuff. So it's just a mentality for me to come out and try to improve in that aspect so I can be a well-rounded tight end. I think it's really important to have that mentality in the run game, but also be really sharp and have attention to detail within the schemes and the minor details that I need to be sharp to be successful. So obviously a lot of work to be done in that area, and great coaches here and a great mentality here, just being dogs in the run game and having that physical mentality.
Evan, even as a vet, why do you continue to push so hard to get better and better, especially in run game, pass game, and all of your ways of playing? Question's still going. Here we go. Please.
Yeah, I'm just addicted to getting better. I never want to put a ceiling or a limit on the evolving of my game. There's always something I want to improve. I'm constantly chasing perfection, and obviously perfection is impossible, but the closer I can get, the harder it is to beat me. The more I help my team. So that's just the mentality I have, and I'm constantly want to learn. I want to be a great leader, but also I can be led as well. And I'm just in a great place here. Just the mentality that we have here, getting better every single day, 1% better. It's just the way I am, and it just feels good to be in a place that matches that.
And it's great to have Evan Engram in this place that matches his passion. I just feel like, man, he just says everything right. He's like, Sean Payton's offense is my home, plays to my strengths. Broncos country is the best. It's my home. In fact, my family feels the love. And then there's one more clip that we're going to play in just a second that I think you guys are absolutely going to love. But, Henry, there was something else that he said that you love that we're not even able to play today because we're running out of time.
Yes. No, he's talking about being a better blocker. And he said that he's really trying to work on that. He said a lot of people doubt him, take it for granted that when he's on the field, they're probably going to be throwing the football. He wants to improve that, become more well-rounded, wants to change his mentality, but also be really sharp and have the attention to detail within the scheme, the minor details. Said that there's a lot of work to be done as a blocker. It's good coaches, all that sort of stuff. It kind of went on from there, which I think is really interesting.
I love it.
Because, again, just watching him out there, that is kind of the missing piece where it's like, if you could just scare the defense as a blocker, or at least not really be a tell, that could go such a long way. And we talked about it a little bit before where it's not that he's a terrible blocker. If you have him try to block somebody smaller than him, then there's a good chance that he's going to come out on top. It's just that, you know, even like a Nick Bonito is bigger than him. Like, though that one-on-one, Nick Bonito is probably going to win that over and over. And if you're trying to get those outside zone runs to his side, which is probably what you want to do when you have him out there. When you have a tight end, you want to get to the boundary on the strong side. Finding a way for him to be successful, or having just a couple of ways so it isn't predictable. You know, whether it's finding ways for him to get to the second level and going after a linebacker, whether it's, you know, getting out there, getting his hands out in front on a cornerback or a safety, somebody smaller, or even just after there's a double team, getting on a defensive end and being able to hold him there for a second. Just to hear him say that that's something that he's working on makes me feel a little bit better, because there was a chance that at this point in his career, he could just say, like, I'm a receiver. Like, I can go out there, I can do my best. It's just not what I'm built to do. And if you could just find one more gear there, it could really open things up. And to hear him say that and that he realizes that is awesome.
Totally. It is awesome, especially because when he had his visit with the Broncos, you know Sean Payton wasn't telling him, hey, man, you got to be a better blocker. We're going to make you a better blocker. Sean said, we're going to make you a vertical threat. That's what he told us on this show with Benny, is that we're just going to make you a vertical threat. You're going to get a lot of yards, a lot of touchdowns. And he's still coming in here saying, I need to be a better blocker. While at the same time, he said that this offense is home for him and that it's playing to his strengths more than ever, which I love, because even though Evan's trying to become a better blocker, I don't think Sean really cares. Obviously, Sean would like it if everyone could block better, but Sean's saying, nah, you're going to be a pass catcher for us, and we're going to rack you up yards. We're going to get you your first 1,000-yard season. We're going to get you your first 10-touchdown season, and you can tell just how much he loves it. And we got one more clip, which we're going to hit in overtime. So if you want to catch the end of this clip, go to thednvr.com where the conversation continues online in overtime. And this is Evan Engram. He was asked a very simple question. So what's this locker room like in terms of the players? Like, how are you fitting in so far? And you're going to love this answer.
Great question. That's probably my favorite thing about being a Bronco right now. Just the way that this team connects, the way they push each other, the way they challenge each other, the way that we've bonded, just the standard that we have for ourselves, the camaraderie we have, the laughs that we have. Like it's an incredible locker room. A lot of great leaders. I tell people, all my family, like it's hard to be the first one in the building. I'm used to being the first one in Jacksonville. I was always the first one. It was really easy. And here it's kind of tough. A lot of guys, doing it at the highest level, and it's just a contagious environment. And we all want to get better, and we all have high standards that we all want to achieve together.
Take that, Jacksonville. He just put you in a body bag right there. Oh my goodness. Not only burying the Jags. By the way, I don't think he's not the type of dude to do that intentionally. I think he was just trying to build up the Broncos there. My guess is he definitely wasn't trying to throw the Jags under the bus. But you know what? He did, so we can throw him under the bus. That's a D-class organization right there. Broncos A-class organization. Pretty cool that so many people get in early because they want to work. They want to show their teammates that they're working for each other and that they like it so much. Especially I think Sean Payton kind of gets this bad rap that he can be an a-hole sometimes. That's to outside the building. Inside the building, people love the culture. People love Sean Payton and being around him, and he sets a really good workplace. So Evan, you love being in Denver. Denver loves that you are here.
And I'm pretty sure that was cut out of the quotes from today that they sent out.
Yeah.
Pretty sure. I can't say it 100%, but boy, have I been looking. I still don't
just
see
type
it.
in Jags.
I tried that.
Jaguar. Well, then,
Jacksonville.
If it's not there, then, they took it out. Yep.
Well,
so,
lost to history.
Yeah.
Except for on this show.
Take that, Jacksonville. Broncos are better. Sorry, Travis Hunter, but welcome to Denver, Evan Engram. We love you.
When Travis Hunter becomes a Bronco, it's going to hit
there
so much.
We go.
This quote's going to hit so much harder.
Travis will be like, yep, I heard that quote and knew that was the case. So that's going to do it for us today. Broncos just wrapped up their third practice. One more this week. Tomorrow, welcome back Saturday.
Yes.
Welcome back, Hank. And then welcome back Saturday.
Yeah.
How you feel about that?
It used to bother me when they did all the branding stuff.
Yeah.
It's like back together weekend. Or whatever. And it's like, it just is what it is.
Yeah,
they want to make it a thing, and
it's crazy.
We
but
said it.
We're going to be there tomorrow, which means we're going to have another show tomorrow afternoon. This one might go a little earlier because it's a Saturday. So stay tuned. We're going to just rush here from Broncos, try to get here between 1 and 2 Denver time is when we'll be starting right after practice to give you the most updated information. And final thing really quick, pads come on Monday.
Which is interesting after an off day.
Yep. Sean's giving them a little time off, and then boom.
I have to go back through my notes,
hitting.
but when I heard that, I thought, I don't think they did that. I think
that's pretty normal.
Is
I
that
think,
what
but I'm
they
not
did?
sure. Go
Off
through
day
your
before?
notes. And,
Yeah.
So that's going to do it. Tomorrow, one more show and practice, off day, and then we've got pads on. So enjoy your Friday. Wait. We got a super chat that's coming in from our friend Carlin.
Yeah.
There we go. Carlin, 483 Cord. It's not your name. It was just that it was like size 2 font, and I couldn't read it. He says, so pumped for Bo's second year and Peyton's third. I'm sick of both of them being underappreciated. I'm sick of it. I've been so impressed. This team has been transformed. I totally agree.
Yep.
I totally agree. And that's
Only,
why you're seeing
5 weeks? 6 weeks?
until it start.
5 weeks.
Yeah. 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
I think.
Yeah.
Something 5 or 6 weeks.
5 to 6 weeks.
I know we are 38 days until kickoff.
Did they tweet it?
No.
Oh.
I just
Did
know.
you tweet it?
No.
Oh.
No, I just know.
Wow.
So we will be doing the countdown.
5 plus a few days.
What?
5 weeks plus a few days.
I think so.
Yeah.
So Jaleel McLaughlin.
Julian McLaughlin.
Yep. Julian McLaughlin, days away, baby.
Yeah. Trent Sherfield, weeks. Plus Will Lutz days.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Tomorrow, we're down to RJ Harvey days, baby.
Wow.
Let's go. Let's bow. We'll see you tomorrow.